Hi guys, my name is Doug. I'm the founder and designer of the Hollow Wheel Performance, and in this video I wanted to really share my development journey. This is a passion project of mine. I love creating products, I love marketing and selling them, and I think in this video I can show you how to do it yourself as well. So I'm a mechanical engineer by trade, and I did anything from designing engines to smart clothing with sensors embedded into it. Why I started this business and this product in particular is because I had a problem. The wheels out there were very heavy, and because they're heavy, they're sluggish. They make the board feel slower or harder to move around. The maneuverability is not where I really wanted it compared to just a regular longboard, which is what I grew up riding. And I wanted something more comfortable and more grippy and something that I could actually tune. That culminated into the Hollow Wheel. This is the Hollow Wheel V2. This is a Hollow Wheel V3, and much V3, or also the Performance is what I call it now. It's been a combination of user feedback, launching the first product, seeing what people think, what they would improve, what they liked, what they didn't like, and then really taking all that feedback and developing the newest Hollow Wheel Performance V3. Sure, it looks a bit the same as a V2, but it's actually bigger, more grippy, more comfortable, and it'll actually be a little bit cheaper too. So here you can see a lot of differences in the internal structure. But before I go to that, I really want to share with you guys what it's like to design a product, how you design it, what I went through in order to develop the Hollow Wheels Performance and get to market. So number one, with anything, with wheels or any product, you need to create prototypes. And in this case, I used 3D printing, created molds, and follow this link to show how you can create your own molds and how I went through the process. And this is important because before you get into the tooling phase, which is making a big mold, which can cost anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000, depending on how complex, how big the part is, you really want to be able to test various shapes, geometries, materials, and 3D printing allows us to do that. 3D printing allows us to change the geometry, cast in a different material, go ride it, see how comfortable it is, see what the grip is. And so then you can also start seeing the failure mechanisms, what wears out. And in the early days of Hollow Wheels, we had a lot of issues with delamination, had a lot of issues with some fatiguing of the material on the inside edges, that kind of thing. You can see inside here. And so we went through, actually developed even the test rig right here, and that would allowed us to expedite durability testing without having to rely on external beta testers as much. This one is a rolling road, simulates rolling road, so I can, there's an electric skateboard drivetrain here attached to the wheel, ESC, battery, everything like that, and then an Arduino, but that can basically simulate going up a hill. You can see these little bump stops there. This goes up to 40 miles an hour, and then it'll basically fatigue the wheel or subject it to high temperatures so you can really accelerate the testing. But we went through a lot of different, this is a really complex product. Yeah, it's a wheel, but the wheel heats up. When the material, the compound heats up, mechanical properties, strength properties decrease, and so then it can, it's very non-linear. Hard to simulate these kind of things, especially with the delamination of the core and the tread portion. That's hard to simulate. That's also a chemical bonding mechanism, as well as mechanical as well. So you have a lot of things. But we started off life with this, which was the very, very first iteration of the Hollow Wheels. A hollow, but you have a cap that bolts on, and you can still put in the inserts. But over time, it morphed quite a bit. I mean, this was kegel and completely cast, and had inserts, but those were expensive, so I had to remove those. And then you can see like the size difference as we continued with grip testing and comfort testing. We looked at and analyzed what's the ideal size for most skateboards. We really designed the wheels for electric skateboards that like the Meepo, Voyager, X-Ray Flex. That's our bread and butter, and that's what we really develop these wheels for. From here up to the inception of the Hollow Wheel Performance has really been about 5 years or so. So really proud to say that we've been shipped the wheels all over the world, and for that I had to go to China, get the tooling. So the process there for getting a product like a mechanical product like this is you have to create the design, create the geometry, spec out the compounds. Once you like those, you can create a mechanical drawing and mechanical CAD, which is computer-aided drawing, based on 3D file. And then you can get it quoted by the manufacturer, and then you have to do a lot of, setting aside all the supplier quality due diligence and things like that. Basically, the next step, once you're happy with the manufacturer, that you trust them, that they'll make the product repeatedly, in the order of thousands of units per year reliably, then you will really want to go into the tooling phase, which is now you're making molds of metal, and this can cost anywhere from $10,000 to the hollow wheels themselves cost about $30,000. We have a lot of parts to tool up. Like in this case, we have the cover with the core itself. We have the tread portion. Then with the wheel itself, we have the core as well, then the tread itself. We have the suspension inserts here that require its own tool. And so it's really important that if you don't get the geometry right the first time applying tooling, well, then you have to go and make new tooling, potentially if the design is completely different. So it's really important to go through the 3D printing part, get the geometry as good as you can, but it's also complex because with 3D printing molds, the available casting materials you have there. Once you get into plastic injection molding or casting, the geometry or the compounds of the materials are much different. They may behave differently. So then you also have to be cognizant of that and make sure that the designs and the characteristics are reflected into those new changes. You want to make sure that it performs just as you thought it would in the 3D printing phase as you would when you go into production. In terms of time, if you're really on it, you can really bring a product, assuming the durability testing is okay and all that is satisfactory, you can get a product in, out the door, if everything goes really well, 6 months. But if it's really complicated, then it could take years. The Hollow Wheel Performance, the Comfort and the Pros, these took about 3 years. It was COVID at that time, so shipping anything was a nightmare. It took 3 times as long. The costs were much higher. I couldn't even go to China to visit the suppliers, so it was very difficult. In terms of budgets, well, the 3D printing part, which is a video in of itself, that can cost probably around $500 just for a good printer. And then you're talking about the materials and the 3D printing, that part, probably a couple $100 just in filament. But where it gets really expensive, it's the tooling aspect. For the hollow wheels, I spent somewhere around $30,000 on the tooling. And I had to redo the tooling a couple of times as well because some of the things just weren't working out. So those parts, it would be a lot more expensive had I not done the 3D printing. So really grateful for that technology. And after that, it's really about cultivating a good community behind you, people that are supporting your journey, your mission, on board with it, that's also another video in it of itself. How to cultivate, how to validate your product, make sure that you're investing something, all this money, time, that it will, when it gets to market, be a successful product. But that's a little bit about my journey of the Hollow Wheel performance, what I went through, and I suggest anyone go through this process because you'll learn so much about yourself. You'll grow as a person. If it doesn't work out, this is like getting an advanced college degree. There's not a lot of people that can do this, so I urge anyone to go be uncomfortable. You should always do it. Even if it's a failure, you win. But yeah, please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you.